So the new 4.0 Abyss just recently released on NA, and I was planning to do just my normal showcases, showcasing different teams on floor 12. But I thought for my first run, I thought it'd be interesting to kind of just go in blind and kind of go through my thought process in team building, team choosing, and how to clear how I would clear floor 12 as efficiently as possible. I thought it'd be interesting because sometimes the thought process of how to pick the best teams or like what teams are good for this abyss can be quite interesting, and I thought it would be a good first video for this new abyss with all these new Fontaine enemies. So keep in mind, I haven't really explored Fontaine yet, so these new enemies are pretty, like, I don't really know what they do, but it's fine, we'll just go with it. As for floor 9 and 11, they're really easy for my account. Maybe the one that gave me a little bit of trouble was this defense one, because for some reason the slime just do like 30% of the target for no reason, and I just didn't notice. But other than that, all easy. So now we're here to floor 12. So keep in mind, this is just like my own like way of thinking of choosing teams. There's obviously going to be some biases. I'm looking for like teams that can clear efficiently. That could mean the fastest, but not necessarily mean the fastest. And I'm always have biases for like certain team archetypes, as you'll probably see. So let's just take a look at the enemies first. I think I took a look at them once before, but let's just take a look at them. So Malgu Kenki first side. So these mechs I don't really know what they do. I just know they have the Numa Oisha mechanic, but to me, since I can't really interact with them, I'm just gonna treat them as normal mobs. So there's just normal mobs. So no Hydro bottom side probably, because these are infusive Hydro, I assume. Assistant Mage, okay. Emperor of Fire. This is the Fire Crab, so I definitely need Hydro on the first side, and then large overgrown Breacher Purpose. So the only time I fought these were for that event, that like the book event, where it wants you to kill like different enemies to get rewards. So other than that, I don't really have a clue, but I know they have a shield, elemental shield something. So I'm just gonna treat them as normal mobs. So it's, I think I kind of have an idea right now. And then just mobs on top, Pyro Slinger on here, floor dance, and then okay. So this is the two dancing mobs boss thing. I think I fought him like once or something. So I think for this abyss, my thought process is pretty simple. So if you just look at first half, heavily incentivized Hydro on the top side. So I'm already thinking double Hydro comps with Xingqiu and Yalan as probably the most simple solution, and I'll probably just go with that. And then bottom side, since to me it really just seems like mobs, so I'm just gonna go to just a strong comp that I'm comfortable with, that I think is super strong. It's probably going to be Dendro team, so I think I know what I'm gonna do. So second half, I'm like, here's an example of like my biases. I just really enjoy playing this spread team, Alhaitham, Nahida, Yakuki. Let me just go with that. I think it's super strong, and I don't think you'll have any problems with any of the mobs, so because they just seem plain to me. So super simple there. Then a double Hydro team up top, so can do really any double Hydro team. Could do an international team, but I think double Hydro is just the simplest solution. We can just put Raiden in here, just cause double Hydro Raiden like Bennett and just brute force it. I think that this team probably just does enough damage to clear. Otherwise, another solution would just bring this into a Hyper Bloom team and just like two Hyper Bloom teams. But I think I'll just go with a double Hydro team up top. I'm thinking of my other options for double hydro if I want to just commit to that win condition. Hu Tao, I don't really like playing Hu Tao, and there's a fire crab, so I'm not gonna run that. And could do wander, but like at that point, wander right in really doesn't matter. I think it's just going to clear. So I think I'm just gonna go with this and see how it goes. So just as another preface, I haven't seen any videos on this, so I just don't know where they spawn. I might reset if like the enemies are really far away and it just like I just didn't know where they spawn, so I just don't know where to go to. I'm wasting time, but you know, we'll see if I can clear in just one try. So what do we got here? This is the Magu Kenki, so nothing really special here. We fought this guy a lot of times in this because they love putting him in the Inazuma rounds. So double hydro, setup, Bennett, and then just go ham right in. Watch that. Unfortunately, wasting most of my burst, but it's fine because I get so much energy. It doesn't matter. Dodge that. I wasted Bennett burst there. I totally forgot. I'm gonna be honest, I totally forgot he would dash back, and that's his mechanic. So it's fine. Like, I know this team does a lot of damage, just double hydra and just brute force it right in. Oops. At this point, it's like just farm for energy and just going with the next one. I believe this was just, it's kind of hard for me to remember, but it's just regular mobs, so I'm just going to set up with Miko, typical spread stuff. Looks like they're really spread apart, so I think ideally I need to go to one side because they seem to not be grouped. They don't like grouping at all. Yeah, they do not like grouping at all, so I would assume that one of the best strategies here would be to go to one side of the arena and hopefully force them to walk to you. But like I said, I just don't know the patterns right now, the attack patterns. Just go kill them one by one. Then what do we got here? Okay, so this one, I think okay. So if I remember correctly, this guy won't move. He likes to stay around, but it might be incorrect. So I'm just gonna go toward the gunner here and see if that works. Yeah, that guy moves too, so that's fine. I think Cryo Mage first would also be a good choice, but yeah, definitely. Oh, that guy has a really annoying moveset, I can tell already, but ooh, okay. Well, I wanted to heal with Shinobu, but luckily C6 saved me. Otherwise, that probably should have killed me. It was really bad for me. I just didn't know how he would react, but just heal up a bit and push him off. So pretty easy first step actually. I guess the most annoying thing would be grouping on the bottom side, but I think just like the easiest solution to that is just watch other people. It usually helps, or we can experiment myself. So I might do that later and see what's the best way to group those enemies. Second half, okay, the crab. Okay, so crab is just break his little helmet when you're able to. Looks like it's broken already. This seems very straightforward. Not gonna lie. Let's do a double hydro rotation again. I don't even need to use. I'm not gonna use Raiden first. He's already dead. I'll just use damage from Bennett and double hydro. And okay, well, as I said, you need Hydra to solve, like, quote unquote solve the mechanic. You can probably brute force it, but it's just the easiest solution to the mechanic. And it just dies. Okay, 3 mobs here. Definitely go for the middle mage because she's the one that stands still. Getting all Back is fine. Just run them off, I'll hide them. Spread is really strong. Alright, what is next? What do I remember? Okay, it's these two. They have, okay. They have a Dendro shield and a Geo shield. And they immediately shield up. The Geo shield might be a problem. But let's see if we can brute force it. That Dendro shield just instantly got shredded. So I'm gonna focus the Geo shield because I don't have a good way to break it. And that's it. This guy's pretty much gonna die. I'm just gonna heal up with Quickie. Didn't look a bit of his patterns, but other than that, done. So yeah, it seems like I don't want to eat my words here, but it seems like this is a pretty easy abyss. I feel like most of the times it really gets hard is when they just force elemental checks on you, and that's when you're restricted with team building. But like, it seems like bottom half you just do whatever you want, and then top half the solution is Hydro, and Hydro is just used in so many teams. So okay, focus this. Might have been better to focus the two gunners, but this one's just way more tanky. I know the gunners are really squishy once you break the shield. Like, just even innately, they're just so squishy. And I have double Hydro anyway, so I don't really care about them shielding up. So just start the burst rotation right now. He's gonna die. Just a few hits there. What do we got here? Okay, so I believe this gunner will stay, and that will probably run to me. So I'm just gonna focus this. That's my assumption. Looks like my assumption's right. And that's it. Wow. Pretty simple solution. I'm surprised the mobs were like that weak. They seem just like plain mobs, and they died really quick. I kind of felt that same feeling on floor 9 to 11. This floor 9 to 11 weren't as annoying, but the reason was that they just didn't have that many mobs. Okay, now let's go with this boss. This boss might be interesting. I am not completely sure what the mechanics are, but let's just see. Let's just go with a normal rotation and see what happens. So he has a cryo shield. Now that you mention it, I do remember that was a mechanic, so I probably should have brought a pyro unit, but luckily Electro works just as fine. And I died. Okay. Okay. I see. I'm just gonna... I mean, that's just unfortunate, but I'm just gonna see what else this boss has to offer. And I'll probably just reset. Okay, so he just has cryo shield. So knowing that, I definitely would have chosen a different team for this. I would have definitely put a power unit on the bottom, and probably just go finish angling. Actually, that's the easiest solution. Yeah, that's just oopsies. I didn't know. And we're back to the second side. So definitely annoying that I don't have power on this side, but I think I'll should be okay if I just don't die. Make sure my Alhaitham doesn't take a beating. Okay, so he just doesn't take any of my damage. Okay, so I see that most of the damage comes from her. Okay, knowing that this is the pattern, so that happens, right? Then he's gonna have the cryo shield, so I need to burst with Alhaitham when I break the shield. So I need to just spam this. Okay, so now I can just burst with Alhaitham with my move. Okay. That wind actually does a lot of damage, I see. Okay. I need to watch out for the wind on the side. He's probably going to... Ooh, what? Okay. So since I'm so close, I'm just probably gonna go. That would be really unfortunate. Okay, so it seems like after a certain... Right, you're just not going to do that move anymore. That's actually very surprising. But, I guess that's just the boss. That's... okay. Well, I mean, this was a... I mean, not the most ideal run. I would definitely wouldn't have, like, uploaded that clear if it was just a normal video. But, you know, since it's just a discussion and just to get, like, my first clear and first thoughts in, I'll just leave it at that. Okay, very interesting. So, after a certain HP threshold, it just stops during that attack. It's very interesting. Yeah. Well, good to know. So now, after just going through that entire abyss, I definitely would have I definitely know like a better solution and what teams to choose for this. So let's go back and just look at the enemies again. So looking back, I think first floor solution was fine. Double Hydro will definitely work. I think International will work. Just any team that has a Hydro like character, like you don't even need double Hydro. You just need like if you can just Hyper Bloom with one of them, like Xingqiu Yalan would be fine. Kokomi would probably Kokomi team would probably be fine. International, like I said before, would probably be fine. Top floor is pretty easy. The Magu Kenki we fought so many times is just a health sponge. This guy is pretty much a health sponge after you break the his helmet, and then this top side here is pretty easy. The F2P skirmishers are typically squishy, so you just have to focus this. And then these two mobs, they just remind me of that the new artifact domain. So the lady looking one with the scissor Camille looking legs will run to you while the gunner will just stay, so just go to the gunner. So yeah, so the more interesting floor would be the second floor, definitely where the difficulty lies. So definitely need to figure out on the bottom how to group those enemies, because grouping those enemies is probably the biggest time gain. So I'll experiment with it and maybe look at some other clears. I would suspect it's either go to one of these enemies or go to the edge of the arena. Usually the typical strategies for grouping manually like that, or use an animal unit if you can. But it seems like they're really far apart. So I mean, animal unit will help, but I think just using one of those strategies first before you actually go into a rotation will be the play. As for second chamber, there was a Geo Shield and a Dendro Shield, but I felt like my team just did like enough damage that the Geo Shield didn't matter. These shields aren't a hard lock as the Heralds, and to me it seemed like it didn't really matter. Dendro Shield, it's just mostly the Geo Shield because it's less convenient to bring a Geo Shield breaker, but just these are just mobs, so I didn't find that too difficult. This boss was the most interesting part. If I knew ahead of time that there would be more cryo, or if I knew ahead of time or remembered that they had cryo shields available, I probably wouldn't have chosen my spread team as like my first go-to pick. I definitely would have chosen any single, maybe Bennett Shanling comp. Like if there's a crowd shield, Bennett Shanling is the easiest solution, so I'll just go with any variation, right in national, international, yeah, anything else. And then that would leave, if you have Bennett Shanling bottom side, then just do whatever, like probably Hyper Bloom top side because of the hydro requirement here. That would be like the easiest solution. So Pyro is really good here because of the cryo shield, but on top of that, my Electro this floor deal with the Dendro shield, but the Pyro just deal with this shield instead. So yeah, overall, like I felt like even though it was a blind run, it was my first time, I just didn't see any videos, and granted my team was strong, I feel like this DPS check was really easy. I think it's due to the fact that most of these mobs are just regular mobs, so they're just sponges. They don't really have like special mechanics to me. So you just kill the mobs, so just do damage, and if you just choose the like a good team comp, they'll do enough damage. The only checks I would say, or what, the Nemesis Acopolis, the two dancers, and maybe the Emperor of Fire and Iron. But like I said, Hydras are really easy. Check. And cryo, like I was able to brute force with Electro. You don't even need Pyro necessarily, but probably, even though Pyro would definitely be the best solution, but you could have brute force with Electro just like I did. And even though I, accidentally let my Yai die, I had so much time, and yeah, so that's that. So interesting Abyss. I'll definitely figure out how to group these and try a Pyro team up bottom side. But yeah, overall I think it's a pretty easy Abyss. At this point I don't think anything can scar me after doing the that Herald Abyss with the 2 Cryo Lectors and 1 Hydro Lector. Oh, no, it's the opposite. Two Cryo, 1 Hydra. After doing that, I don't think anything can scar me, unless maybe they surprise us with new enemies, or maybe they bring it back. But yeah, so hopefully that commentary was interesting. If you thought that was interesting and would like more, just let me know. I'd be glad to just talk about my thought processes. Going in blind was definitely interesting, but yeah. So if you'd like to see more of this type of commentary, just let me know. And yeah.